And we are live. Popular to, or contrary to popular belief, I am live. I am here. I am not just some talking head. I am not Max Headroom. Boy, that's a real throwback. Only a few people in this audience will have a reference to Max Headroom. Did you know that, what is her name? Soledad O'Brien, I believe, made her debut on Max Headroom. You're probably asking, what in the world is Max Headroom? Well, Max Headroom is from a day gone by, an era where some of the things that we're familiar with today were very, very different back then, because what I'm talking about is MTV. MTV, if you don't already know, stands for music television. In other words, they were supposed to be music videos. That's how MTV started. Some of the originals that were on there were people like Adam Curry, who is also known as the Podfather because he pioneered the whole idea of a podcast. And he still to this day has his own podcast that he does with another blast from the past, John C. Dvorak, who I've had my own dealings with in the past. Nice guy. And anyways, back to Max Headroom. Max Headroom was a show on MTV. It was kind of an interlude in between the music videos, which apparently they don't show anymore on MTV. Now it's all about some kind of political programming of some sort, some propaganda bullshit. But anyways, Max Headroom was this sort of animated character. He's actually a very well-known actor. I forgot what his name is. That's how well-known he is. But if you saw his face, you'd say, I know that guy! And Soledad O'Brien used to converse with this guy on this big tube. And all you saw was his head, and his name was Max Headroom. But that's not me. I'm not Max Headroom. I'm not just some guy on a tube. Besides, I don't have a pretty girl to talk to me, although Soledad O'Brien these days is starting to look a little long in the tooth. Although she's got to be in her late 40s, maybe 50 by now. Because this was back in the early 80s when MTV was actually worth watching. Where was I? Where was I going with all this? I don't remember. Oh yeah! I'm live! I am alive and I'm here to talk to you guys. So, what's going on with these markets? Are we, in fact, crashing? Is the market crashing? Someone asked me that yesterday, or someone didn't ask, they stated it. They said, we are now bearish market. I'm like, well, not by the conventional way of measuring a bear market. We're not even close to a bear market yet. Although we are in danger of having a negative year, which is very hard for me to believe that some of these Wall Streeters won't pick this market up before the end of the year comes and then just push it up into positive territory. So we'll see if that happens. One thing, okay, so today, 12 days of trading. Today is day 7 of the 12 days. And although I haven't really been talking about trading very much, I've been just sort of talking about whatever comes to my mind. I do mention every day our AI setups. And I want you to consider that. If you're looking to be a systematic trader, it's a fantastic tool to use. So far, so good. I mean, incredible record. I did make a mistake yesterday in the way I characterized it. Not in terms of the percentages and the win rate and all that other stuff, but I said that in our room there hasn't been a single losing trade. What I should have said is there hasn't been a single losing trade day. All right? So, of course, there's been a couple of losing trades. Only a couple. British pound, I think, is a notable example of that. And some people in the room wanted, they made sure that I knew that, and so I'm here to correct the record. There hasn't been a single losing day, at least from our point of view, in trading these signals in the way they're presented, and in the trading that has actually gone on in the room. Some of the members, I think, at first were slow to catch on and to sort of accept our rules, but now it seems like everybody is just moving full force. And even people with small accounts are doing really well. And that is in the face of this down market. And most of these calls, I think, have been on the bullish side. But see, bullish, bearish, it depends on what you're actually trading and what market and so forth. We do both long and short. And so it's more like a hedge fund picker. These are the positions that I would put into a hedge fund if I had a hedge fund. And it follows that principle that I've been talking about. Well, I've talked about it ad infinitum for just over and over and over. I'm being redundant. All of this is from the Department of Redundancy Department. That, in my view, I think what is the holy grail of trading, and actually a very difficult thing to do on your own, and that is to trade multiple non-correlated strategies. First of all, most people can't come up with one strategy, never mind multiple ones, and most people don't even understand or know how to create two strategies that aren't correlated with one another. It's a relatively simple concept, though. And as far as trading goes, I think it is about as close as you're going to get to the golden, or the holy grail, the golden banana, the golden goose, or whatever you want to call it. It's not a guarantee that you're going to win. However, it is steeped in some of the principles of things that I've talked about also. I think as a trader, you need to have this or not just this, an underlying philosophy on something that sort of guides all your trades, something that has a philosophical bent, the thing that gives you the edge, an innate understanding of how the markets work, something that is objective, reasoned, based in statistics. In other words, based in reality. So when I say based in statistics, you have to be careful when you say it's based in reality. It depends on how you use those statistics, I guess some people would argue. But that's about the only thing that we have to go on. If you have things that are based on statistics, and you can say that they are statistically significant, we measure correlation through statistics. There is actually a statistical measure called correlation coefficient that can measure the returns of strategies. So if you were to backtest a strategy, you can measure its returns, or you can actually plot its returns, and then you can take another strategy and you can plot its returns, and then you can compare the two through the correlation coefficient. And if their returns are uncorrelated, in other words, they were likely derived from different inputs, different reasons, different strategy, different hypothesis, then it follows to reason that their returns will also be uncorrelated, that when one's going up, the other one's likely not to be going up. Maybe it will be going down, or maybe it will go up at a different time, because they are uncorrelated. Why is this important? I keep on talking about why this is so important. What do you want, buddy? My older dog is whimpering. I can't do anything. Hey, come here. Come here. Come here. Oh, there he goes. What? What is it? What is it? Oh, thank you, thank you. The reason why this is important there are a few things to do with the idea of convexity, anti-fragile nature of things that are well spelled out and talked about and discussed and put into the form of allegories in the series of books by Nassim Taleb, and like the Anti-Fragile Systems that Gain from Disorder. There he talks about the concept of convexity and this idea of non-correlated things, systems that have a tendency to act better as more stress is put on them. I mean, these are both academic mathematical concepts as well as sort of philosophical statutes or pillars, that you can base something on. You can base it on trading, or you can base it on even reality. I don't know if I'm getting a little bit heady here, but that is, in essence, what we do here. We've developed, and I've talked about this kind of underlying philosophy of trading and the way the markets work, what's important to look at, that putting together a system, and this is basically what most hedge funds do and what most professional traders do. And in fact, if you were to go back and look at, read a book like, or the series of books called Market Wizards by Jack D. Schwager, that book interviews all the most successful traders in the world. A lot of them that you've never heard of, but they are silent killers. They just kill it every day. And the one thing that you would take away from these guys, if you were to read all these different interviews that Jack Schwager does of all these most successful traders in the world, there's a few takeaways. One is that virtually none of them are doing short-term trading. Virtually none of them are using technical analysis. All of them are doing their own thing. So, in other words, they're not really doing what each other are doing. Also, they seem to have this proclivity towards employing multiple non-correlated strategies, tending towards the longer term as opposed to the shorter term. They find more opportunity in the longer term. So, yeah, trend trading is definitely best, swing trading second best, day trading worst. I'm not even going to say best, because there are very few cases where day trading is really good unless you actually know exactly what your edge is, and virtually nobody out there in the retail world really understands what an edge is or how to get it or how to measure it. Sometimes you wonder, if edge can be achieved in just one strategy, that in fact you would need multiple strategies, a sort of a relative measure in order to achieve an edge, at least a consistent edge. With one strategy, one way of doing things, one asset, one time frame, you might have an edge for a discrete period of time, but then after that it goes away. Inevitably, it will go away. And again, this is all coming back full circle into this idea of multiple strategies. How do you get multiple strategies? That is a really hard thing to do. I've taught a class on developing strategies, something I call the strategy factory. That is one way. And the strategy factory is kind of a process that a systematic trader will definitely go through. Someone who's doing automated trading, that should be like their number one thing. But as a retail discretionary trader, it is anathema to everything that they think about. It's just way too complex. They think, hey, I got to spend time trading and try to make these trades work. And see, that's the rub, that you don't have to do that. You don't have to spend time trying to make your trades work. Actually, the actual execution part of your trading should be the part where you spend the least amount of time. Where you should be spending the vast majority of your time is in developing new strategies and curating those strategies for inclusion into your strategy pool. The things that you actually put into play. Kind of liken it to a professional sports team, like like a baseball team. A baseball team, a professional baseball team, is way more than just that team. It is actually a complete ecosystem and other teams, other supporting minor league teams at different levels, triple A, double A, and then even lower than that, a scouting mechanism that is constantly curating and developing new talent that bubbles up to the top to one day potentially go to the show. That's what they call it in baseball, playing in the show, the major league game. And once they have that major league team, they're a unit, but they are impermanent. They are not immutable. They have to change necessarily because some players go on streaks, some get injured, some stop performing, some get old and rusty. And so they have to then find the next player that they've curated and take their place, sometimes temporarily. Finding strategies, you can think of the players as like strategies. It's exactly the same thing. And all these players, they all have different skill sets in the same way that a strategy should have a different hypothesis and edge. Baseball is a walk in the park. That's very punny. Yeah. Yeah, so this is kind of like the essence of what I'm actually talking about. Hayseed says he owned shortstop. I was a pitcher. I played semi-pro ball. Back in.
You'll need to unlock your iPhone first.
I didn't say hey Siri. I said Hayseed. Damn iPhone! So anyways, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah, I said I played semi-pro ball for a bit. I played in the Cranberry League, the South Shore Coastal League. I was a pitcher. It's pretty good. But I was more interested in working and stuff like that. At that level, it's very competitive, but it doesn't pay, obviously. And a young guy needs pay. Ernie, what's your education level? Where did you attend? And so, my education level. Let's see. Let me start with this. I'm going to start backwards. I've had positions, executive level positions, where I've had very large teams, dozens of people, of which a very large majority of them were PhDs. They work for me. But I don't have a PhD. I don't have a master's. I don't have a bachelor's. I don't have an associate's. I have some time in college. But I also started my career working as a research scientist for Raytheon, working on defense-related stuff, mostly related to laser-based inertial guidance systems of intercontinental ballistic missiles, and material science on infrared transmissive materials for heat-seeking missiles. Some would call that a rocket scientist. That was my first job. Because I convinced them that I could do it. I was actually, at the time, going to school at Northeastern on their co-op program. And I left that. I was going Raytheon school, and then finally I said, fuck school. Work is where it's at, and they hired me. And that's what I did. Then I worked for Raytheon Data Systems. Then after that, I started, it's not that I didn't believe in the education in having education. It's just that I didn't believe in the education they were trying to teach me, and I certainly, I hate to say this, but I knew a hell of a lot more than any of the teachers that were teaching me. I found that what I was learning in school had very little to do with what I was doing in the real world, and I proved it. After Raytheon, I did a wide variety of things, all increasing my education, self-educated. Owned a couple of businesses, a printing business for a while, a consultancy, a business management consultancy, a business support consultancy that was called Mac Mentors. It was pretty big back then. There were a lot of companies early on that were actually incorporating Macintosh into their thing. And then I became a consultant to the communications industry, marketing, printing, real high-end shit. That's how I met my wife, actually. Then I did a wide variety of technical, IT-related things. You know, right at the advent of the internet, I was right there, doing it all. I did so many things, started to work for so many different financial companies and elsewhere. Did a lot of work for Fidelity, as a matter of fact. Brought their online brokerages online, and that's when Sun was one of our suppliers, and worked with them directly to work with all the new technology that was going on the front line of these new systems that were bringing everybody onto the online brokerage. And then Sun hired me out of there to be chief architect for professional services. That's where I had a very large team of high-level architects, PhDs, and other engineers. After that, I did international technology management consulting, basically running projects, coming up with new ideas for companies, helping them evaluate their technical prowess and processes and how that matched up with their business goals. Did that for a long time. So, yeah, I did all of that without a degree. So there you go. I'm a college dropout. That was the short version of my bio. So where were we? Let's see. Where were we? Let's start by going to the comments. Lots of comments here. So now what do? Now I just I've been working out of the home for 20 plus years. So is the wife. We're very fortunate to have been at home, both my wife and I, with the kids as they grew up. Now they are grown up. And now I just do what's fun. Getting on YouTube, helping out people, developing, pet projects on things like the AI setups, which is really cool. Other businesses that I'm involved in. It's got to be fun, though. When it stops becoming fun, all right. Not sure what to think of you not always appearing on the late night show lately, Ernie. All right, so I've been doing it regularly for about 2 weeks. Last night I took off. Am I really obligated to do that? I guess, especially when pumping like we are makes everything you say that much more questionable. I really don't understand how to take that, or I don't even care what you're saying. I don't understand how you come to those conclusions, and I don't agree with it. Is it that I don't agree with it because I don't understand it, or that I think that you're just full of shit and that's why I don't agree with it? I think the latter. But to say that I'm hiding because Bitcoin is pumping, Let's see. What was the title of yesterday's show? Oh, my AI partner. Yes, sir. Oil is a great buy. Ah. Why is the market coming down? Oil at what? Oil at 47.65. That's why because it's okay. Well, why do you think it's ridiculous? Why do you think price of 47.65 is ridiculous? Just wondering. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. Now, we also had a. Did we have an EMD trade? The S&P 400 on? Was that tonight? Or was that yesterday? Yeah. Yeah, I think it has come down. I'm not sure if it's come down to that level. Oh, anyways, I am doing my live room here, and we're transmitting this stuff. Oh, I gotta let the dog out. Bye. All right, oil at 47.65, and I have to let the dog out. Hold on. You want to go out? Want to go out? Come on, let's go. Come on, go. Oil at 47.65. That sounds very interesting. So we got to get back to the. I lost everything. Let's see. Where is this? Ah, there you are. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna start right up here. Right, so the last question I answered was my education level. Then after that, Hayseed says he was a pitcher also. He might be a god. Also, Hayseed is very modest. Ernie, can short squeeze lead to an end of the bear market? Possibly. Dawa says, you told me some time ago the 200 weekly moving average on Bitcoin was pointless, useless. Guess not. Now earn thousands respecting it. Let's see. Well, I'm short on Bitcoin at about 3,500. I've got a short in. The 200 you're talking about, I think, is what everyone's been talking about, the 200 weekly. It had nothing. Bitcoin going up had nothing to do with the 200 weekly. I'm sorry. You're delusional if you think that. I'm really sorry for you. That's right, Tyler. Short every friggin' rally. It still holds. Yeah. Every day during the stream he gets a call. I get calls all day. It just so happens that I do a stream from 11 to whenever, and I can't help it if people call me. It's funny that I get a call from people that I'm working with. It's like they can't remember that I'm doing a show at 11 o'clock. Conspiracy confirmed from Far Justice, whatever that means. Ernie, is your partner British? No, he is not. Far from it. The herd and everyone agree on oil target 45. Me included, the low of January contract is 45. We will see. Yeah, he just made this call, 46.7 or 47.65. No way for hayseed. Shut up, Siri. I didn't say, hey, Siri. Thinks I said, hey, Siri. Once again, we are going to 1,000. And I agree with that. All right, now I have to go manage my dog. I'll be right back. Hold on. Just watch. Let's see, what can you watch? Is Bitcoin. So I'm in right about here. Oh, you can't see it. There, now you can see it. I'll be right back. Ruminate over that. That pump. Come on. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Good boy. You want to come over here? Come on. Come on over here. Come on. All right. Talking head. When I say talking head, that's what I've called the scene on my open broadcast system, open broadcast server software. So I click the talking head, and then it composes this scene that you're seeing right here, with the chat, me, and then another screen behind me. I need a shave. About once a week. So anyways, oh yeah, I know what I wanted to say. What did I call yesterday's show? Excuse me while I look. I'm looking. Maybe I go over here. I look at my channel. All right. I called it the big idea. But in that show, I talked about it pumping. So I thought maybe, did I call it? I was thinking of calling it and referencing the pump, but then I thought to myself, why am I giving Bitcoin any real credence here on this show? Why am I doing that? Are most of you here because of Bitcoin? Really? Hey, all eyes. Haven't seen you for a while. Any change of view on the markets? No, markets go up, markets go down. Currently, it seems to be going down generally. Although now it looks like it's coming back up. Can't keep track of this damn thing. All right, now back to your comments. There we go. Volume profile is prophetic. I agree with that. Well, it's what allows us to be prophetic, because it allows us an objective view into the structure of the market, you know, where supply and demand is, where likely support and resistance are in actuality, not by some lines you draw on the chart, but seeing exactly where, based on what traders have done in terms of their actions, where they find value in the market, where they don't find value. It's so friggin' simple. And then to say that volume profile is prophetic is kind of like ancillary, you know, to the fact that it is a completely objective tool. I mean, some people can trade only on volume profile. They don't even need the chart. It tells you everything that you want to know. You wouldn't have any viewers without Bitcoin. Ha 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 ha. So, I wouldn't have any view. Why not? Am I boring? Am I boring you, Asdirt? Dude, what do you want? Dude! What? Come here. Come here. Where are you going? Get over here. Obi. These damn dogs. Hey, come here. They, Obi in particular, he's always trying to coax me, because he wants me to sit down on the couch so that he can then sit on top of me. Seriously. I don't know if you heard him whimpering there, but that's him whimpering, saying, "Please come sit on the couch so I can sit on top of you." The damn dog is over 100 pounds, and he's a lap dog. Obi, come here. Hey. You. Get over here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Hey, come here. Give me a kiss. Love you. You're such a good boy. All right. No, you're not boring. You're funny. But if you talked about S&P all day and long, not Bitcoin, I wouldn't be here. Ah. So that's how to get rid of you. William Bavia, Trump 2020. Thank you very much for that. James Push. How come you don't use volume profile with your S&P Santa Rally long position to assess the... well, the volume profile should have helped you and prevented a losing position from... No. Volume profile is not a strategy. I don't know how often I have to say that. Volume profile doesn't predict that some Chinese woman CFO gets arrested in Vancouver or wherever it was. It just doesn't. All I says, Ernie, I respect your views and experience. You mentioned, are we here for just Bitcoin? Initially, it was yes. But you've pushed my interest to greater markets and wider view of the structure. Well, thank you. Obi, stop it. What a baby. Of the markets. That being said, and let's be honest, how much longer can use case cryptos stay under like this? No BS, Ernie. XRP has real utility. Yeah, whatever. And let's not just bash it for just bashing it, Ernie. I mean, I've talked about this over and over and over and over again. And the only utility it has is the pipe dreams right now. I mean, it may someday in the future, but to think that it's going to take over international bank transfers is a farce. It's a wet dream of the crypto fanatics. And, you know, okay, sure, it has potential, but everything has potential. Well, not everything, but you can talk about all kinds of things that have potential. They all have potential. If this happens, that happens, and this happens in a certain way, and that happens then, and this happens then, yeah, then it has potential to go up. But you're not playing in this kind of what-if game. Either it does or it doesn't. Why blame the Chinese? That's even more ridiculous. No, what the point was that the market went down that day because of that news event. And it could have gone down on any news event. Volume profile is not a predictor, per se, of events. It is a predictor of where price will go given just, you know, average circumstances. Even non-average, you know, where it's likely to go based on a larger bias, I guess. So if you had, say, a bearish bias and you think price is going to tend to move down, you'd have an idea based on the volume profile about where there might be resistance and where where the market might find value or hang out. So it is a predictor of potential behavior, is what it is. But it's not a predictor of what's going to happen. Those are two fundamentally different things. Jacob says, it's more likely the economy switches back to the gold standard than the crypto standard. Yeah, and it's very unlikely it's going to switch back to the gold standard. So I agree with that. Why won't you give XRP any credit? Because it hasn't created or deserved any credit yet. Why, Ernie? Why, he says? Because it has not deserved any credit yet. It hasn't proven anything. It hasn't done anything. Fine, but that's an extremely speculative investment. When you say you're trying to make good investments, and if you're putting so much of your effort into trying to believe that XRP is going to be the next thing, then that's not making good investments. Might get lucky. Faraz. Some analysts are saying that as the stock markets continue the downward trend, the Fed's increased interest rates, this time money is not going to go into gold, silver, or into USD. This time money is going into Bitcoin. How do you make that conclusion? That's just saying, it's like just pulling it out of your ass. You make a statement, and then the conclusion is something you pull out of your ass. There's no logical progression to that. This is what I don't understand. When the Fed do a mistake, Bitcoin may rally. Again, no correlation. Believe, says the man who believes in the Santa Claus rally. No, what I believe in is statistics. And by far, statistics say that a Santa Claus rally is likely to happen. That doesn't mean I believe in the rally. It means that, from my point of view, there is a higher degree of probability that it would rally than not rally. That, at least this year, that might not play out. But that doesn't change the fact that most years it does. Snuffleupagus Brown. People just don't get it. There is no product or speculation. There is no product. All speculation. What do you think the Fed will say, and how will markets react? All right. I think that they're going to increase interest rates only because there is a, 77% chance that the market believes that. So there's a high probability that they will increase it to within the range that they're talking about. I think that's 2.25 to 2.50. Then what I don't know is what they're going to do after that in terms of their forward outlook. That's always the surprise. And that's what most of the market is going to be looking at. What are they going to say after the numbers? And we all put so much faith in what they do. Wow. And that's what really upsets me, because... Go away. Well, it's all you're ever talking about, All Eyes. When you say, fine, if you're investing in more than one stream, fine. You still seem to have this infatuation with XRP. I mean, pot stocks, I don't see them going anywhere right now either. I think they're going to go down further. So Robert Leonardo is replying to Faraz Raz, who was trying to convince me or make this sort of leap of logic that somehow because we're not going into gold, silver, or into the U.S. dollar, money will naturally go into Bitcoin. All right? And then Robert Leonardo says, I hear that a lot, Faraz, usually from apocalyptic sites. They believe in the one world currency coin. It's the same sites that, the prepper sites, the silver freaks. See, all these people that are the crypto freaks now and the collapse of the dollar freaks used to be the silver freaks. Who used to be the gold freaks? Who used to be some other freak? They're just fucking freaks. All right, so All Eyes is still trying to sell me on XRP, saying the company is sound and their tech is also. What do you really know about the technology and the company? What do you really know? I mean, have you done a deep dive on this company? I'm not saying that I have yet. Someone wants to pay me for it, I will. And I'll tell you what's really going on. But just from my professional opinion and observing them from afar, I'm not real high on them, quite frankly. They may have an okay tech, but most of the crypto market has reasonable technology, I mean, well thought out, clever, all that other shit. But that's not the problem. The problem is the big picture. The problem is that right now it is fundamentally incompatible with our culture and our way of doing business. Michael Jones, how you doing? All right, so Michael is replying to something? No. He says, some, Ernie, just keep money in all cash until 1,000. Build fund for trading while waiting and learn volume profile. He's asking me. I mean, if you're asking me that, you should wait until Bitcoin gets down to 1,000, then load up the, pack up the truck, I'm not saying that at all. I mean, I started out this entire first part of this video talking about multiple non-correlated strategies, multiple streams of income, anti-fragile, convexity, max headroom. Not sure how that fit in there, but it did. Yes, for a deep dive analysis. If someone wants to pay me, I'll do a deep dive analysis. But I at the outset, all eyes, I don't have like a hugely positive view. I look at all the different aspects, the cultural, the business climate, the technology, the current way that most companies make their money, the existing competing technologies or traditional technologies, and also what they're involved in. And I just don't see how XRP is something that I should get really excited about. That might change in the next week, a month, or a year, but not now. And, if someone wanted me to do a deep dive and then start examining them from the inside out, I'm sure I could dig up a lot of dirt, find a lot of crap in there that would... I mean, most people don't want to know that shit. Once they know that shit, they're wondering why they invest at all. Of course, I would discover things if I did a deep dive that I don't know about that would open my eyes to future possibilities. That's possible, but it could also open my eyes even wider to the fact that I think that it's a dog. So, look, I don't fall on either side of that equation. All I know is what I see now. If I do a deep dive and it confirms, that'd be one thing. If it disproves, that'd be another. But I can't, from what I see here, say that, oh, that's what's going to happen if I do a deep dive, like you seem to be saying. The review non-biased. No. They have to disprove. They have to overwhelmingly prove to me that they are something, rather than me looking at something and say, well, that's clever. That looks like it has some potential. No, I need way more than that. My bar is very, very high. But it's not just XRP. It's that way for anything. The bar is really high. And when I do a deep dive, go in and start interviewing managers, the C-level people, look at their business plan, their processes, their financials, their technology. I look at all of it with an extreme skeptical eye. I look at it as if this company sucks. They got to prove to me that they don't suck. Because most companies suck. And that's really, and that's a distressing thing to say, because most companies suck because most people suck at what they do in a company. Most companies have 80% dead weight, regardless of how innovative and forward-thinking they are. So the hard part is trying to figure out, well, how are they going to achieve all the wonderful platitudes that they're stating in their business plan when they got all this fucking shit-ass people in the way? How are they going to do that? And that's if they have a halfway, decent plan. A lot of companies don't have even that. They have a lousy plan and lousy people, and then psychopaths running the company. How can I get my foot in the door at a trading firm to get experience in trading? I live in New York City. You go apply. You start doing or asking them what you need to do in order to be considered. And then start doing that. Some have programs where they take people on as in a kind of apprenticeship role if you make it through the initial parts of the program. That's about it. Go to a good school, come out with great grades. That's another way. Does Tesla suck? I don't know. Again, that's, it's a polarizing issue, I guess. AMS 991 says he's repeating me. Most companies suck. Quote, Ernie, most companies suck because most people suck. Truth. I literally tell people that all the time. Exact words. It's the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule. 20% of the people are carrying the rest of the 80%. And Hayseed, you're also right there that I'm not going to say psychos. I would say sociopaths in general are running the world. Most of the most successful leaders of companies are in fact sociopaths. They are high-functioning sociopaths. They're not likely to go out and, commit a string of serial murders, but they are likely to attract others to their inner circle, their stuff. I've seen that, I mean, I've dealt with the C-level folk dozens or hundreds in the Fortune 100 and 500. And yeah, I'd say that I don't know if it would be a majority, and I'm not a clinical psychologist, and I can't sit here and grade them on how much of a sociopath they are. But after understanding what a sociopath is, most of the real high functioning ones appear to be that way. Most, not all. All right, now we are getting to the end of the show. I'm going to try to keep this under an hour, and if I do that, if I close up this show within the next minute, I can achieve that goal. And so that's what I'm going for. Fuck. Oh, what happened? Oh, there it is. This means that I have to go and stop the stream. All right, guys. I want to thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hit that like button. Give this a thumbs up. Share this video with your buddies, please. And if you're not already subscribed to the Discord channel, go down below. There is an invitation there. The channels that we have in there are several that are open to the public. One of them is private. It's a private support channel for our AI setups. So the open channels, pretty much anything goes, and I'm very liberal in terms of what I allow there. What I don't allow is abuse. And some people that come in there just for the purpose of abusing that privilege of using this server that I created, for people to talk, which it now has about, 1,300 members or so. And maybe it'll get bigger, maybe it won't. At any one time, there's maybe 150 people on there talking. But if someone comes in and starts abusing other people, or is just a general pain in the ass, then that becomes a poison. And yeah, I'll ban them. I try not to. I'd rather have good debate, but some people don't want to debate. So anyways, I was getting off track there. Oh, fuck! I missed the close. This show now will officially go over an hour. Yeah, the Discord. Go to the Discord, join there. We have rooms on trading. We have a general room, which is basically on anything. You can talk about anything. Politics, religion, girlfriends, or wish we're girlfriends, or anything else. And then we also talk about trading, crypto as well as regular trading. All right, guys and women, thank you very much. Oh, Aggie 1926. I told a few people watch you. Not sure if they did, but you have 51 watching now. I thought I had more than that. Is that all I got? 51? That's kind of pathetic. Yeah, 49 now. All right. Everybody, thank you. We'll see you next time. I'm going to try to do a show tonight. I played pool with a friend. I went over to a friend's house, played pool last night. Tuesday is my regular night to play tournament 9-ball, our weekly 9-ball tournament. And so if I do well, I'll be back late. If I don't do well, I'll come back and I'll turn the show on. Casper says, I'm a shill, Ernie. Enough with the BS. What the fuck does that mean? What the fuck does that mean? First of all, if you're selling your own product, you, by definition, are not shilling it. Just saying. So, Casper, fuck off. See ya. Click the stop streaming button. Oh, we've only been out there for 58 minutes. I'm still under. Holy crap. If it pumps, you won't see me. You think I run away? You think I really run away from shit like that? That is so funny. Now I'm going. I'm running away from you. And oh, by the way, I think I'm gonna shave the beard off. Maybe. We'll see. Bye.